Greetings and welcome to Pickled Watermelon Rinds, a guilty pleasure podcast featuring Auntie Joan and Auntie providing our zesty and marginally mature take on current events, pop culture, and trends. Now we invite you to sit back, relax, and enjoy. Hello, Auntie Joan.
Hi, Auntie.
How are you today?
I'm good. How about your own self?
Oh, I'm just fine. Thanks for asking.
Oh, you're most welcome.
So today we're going to just get right into it. We've got a discussion item that we'd like to partake in for our listener.
Yeah, this has been on my mind for a while.
Yes, Auntie Jo, why don't you tell us what this discussion topic is all about?
It's about the stigma that's placed on people like myself who enjoys watching television. How about that? What stigma, you may ask?
Well, what stigma, you may ask?
Oh, there. Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, I missed my cue.
There's been a faction of people who kind of put up their noses when they find out that other people like to watch TV and
blasphemy.
Yeah. And what I've found out over the last couple of years, of course, since I got my streaming services and such, is there's a lot of really good television out there, quality television, and educational. You can learn a lot.
But I also don't think television has to be that. I like television for escapism. I don't want to necessarily learn something. I don't care. I want to veg out, or I just want to laugh, or I just want to whatever. I watch the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
And that's another thing, everybody who, not everybody, but quite a few people who do or are presented with the stigma of television automatically revert to, well, I watch educational things too. And it's like, you don't have to. Like, nobody, it's your preference. It's just entertainment. Television is entertainment, no matter how you slice it. If you learn something along with the entertainment, great. It's rare that something is pure education, because then it's a webinar. Or a TED Talk, or whatever the hell those things. I've never listened to a TED Talk. I have no idea what I'm talking about, to be quite frank.
Well, there's also like, on PBS, they have some of those documentaries and series.
See, I like their
the
cooking
Civil
shows.
War. Huh?
I like their cooking shows.
Yeah, those are okay too.
That's what I like. But
there aren't as many as there used to be.
No.
But then
I
there's
like
so
the
many
Test
cooking
Kitchen
channels. Ted's Kitchen?
Test Kitchen.
Yes, I like that too.
America's Test Kitchen, or whatever it's called. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from as far as the escapism. I had my guilty pleasures. Dance Moms, 90 Day Fiance. And I have to confess, I only watch the Pillow Talk versions now because I can't stand all the
because
crap
I shamed
that goes
her.
on.
I apologize.
The what?
Because I shamed you. I apologize.
No, you didn't. So, I had my guilty pleasures. Oh, yeah, Dance Moms. I would watch every week. And then I'd follow it up with, there was one with majorette type dances, dance girls down in Alabama or Mississippi, and all their competitions. Oh, it was wild. But anyway. But I've never been that much. Well, since Mary Tyler Moore and the Bob Newhart show, I haven't been that much into the comedies, the situation comedies over the years. So I never got into Friends or Jerry Seinfeld or any of those, which I know you love, Jerry Seinfeld.
Very true. Yep, I don't watch the news. I get all of my news from Bill Maher, Seth Meyers, and John Oliver. That's where I get my news from. I know it's not all encompassing. I totally get it, but I like that they, as my dear sweet Jason Bateman, who I adore Jason Bateman likes to say they make the medicine go down. They help to make the medicine go down. Yeah.
But on that note, I think, well, except for Bill Maher, but I think between Seth and John Oliver, you're watching people who more or less agree with where you're coming from.
No, I don't agree with Bill Maher a lot.
I know, that's why I say with the exception of Bill Maher.
No, I don't agree necessarily with John Oliver's take on some things.
Really?
Either. I find both John Oliver and Seth Meyers to be ultra progressive.
Yes.
And I'm not. I'm more left center than I am progressive.
No.
For sure. I just like them. I just think they're adorable.
I wouldn't say they're not that far on the left, I would say. I would think they're more center also.
Oh, but then, I don't think so.
No?
Mm-mm.
Oh. Mm-mm. Because I kind of agree with most of what they say. I
Yeah,
wonder how many listeners we're going to lose with this conversation.
Well, we're not going to get into the politics any more than what we just talked about. That's pretty much it. But I don't agree with everything they say.
Now, I do watch the news networks. I watch CNN, Fox, and MSNBC. I'll go through those quite a bit. And I like to get the takes on, where they're coming from. I think that's important to know what kind of information is being disseminated out there. And I even have on occasion watched C-SPAN. So I enjoy watching. Oh, that's the congressional hearings and things like that.
Oh.
Yeah. So I guess I'm more of a geek than you are. So anyway.
So speaking of stigmas.
I like the news stuff but you know what the bottom line is for me? Is I need the noise. I need to hear the voices in my house because I'm alone. I live alone.
I actually like the silence.
Oh, not me. I can't.
TV doesn't go on until the earliest 4:00 in the afternoon.
Oh my goodness.
Never have it on during the day ever.
That's the first thing I do when I get up. Got to have that noise.
Nope. I like silence. I'm a big fan.
You don't turn on some music or something?
Almost never. Unless I'm cooking. If I've declared it, I'm cooking today, for a good chunk, for a couple, 3 hours or whatever, then I'll put on some music. But I don't even think about music when I'm not doing something like that. When I do any chore outside or anything, I never have earbuds in or anything like that to listen to anything. I like the sound of nature. I like the sound of silence.
I do too.
So
I like the sound of nature. I don't understand when you've got women, particularly because women are more vulnerable. When you see them out there running or biking or anything, and they've got their little earpieces in, and they can't hear what's going on around them, that just bugs the HE double hockey sticks out of me.
I tell you what, anytime I take Killian on a walk,
Yeah.
And when I used to run, now I do have to say, when I used to run years ago, I did listen to music, upbeat tempo to kind of keep the pace kind of thing.
Yeah.
But that's it. But if I just go for walks, I don't listen to anything. I know like Auntie Bethy, she likes to listen to podcasts, ours, so that's okay.
Right on, sister.
I tell you what. Or other podcasts as well. She really likes to listen to something while she's taking the dogs on a walk or she's going for walks for herself or whatever. I was the exact opposite. I never have any music.
No.
I want to be able to hear if somebody's coming behind me. And I don't even hear that. Just on the trail this past Monday, a bicyclist, I did not know they were even coming up behind me until they were next to me and scared the crap out of me. Killian could care less, which is nice. They were nowhere near him, but it was just the point that I'm like, you just scared the crap out of me. Like, really? Like, ring a bell, say behind you, say on your left, something.
Aren't they supposed to?
They're supposed to.
Yeah.
It did startle me quite a bit, but I was like, all right, well,
situational awareness.
Yeah.
I want to know. I want to hear the cars coming up. And know what's going around me. So,
yep. I hear you. And another thing I wanted to bring up is people who read books and just think that you don't read a book all the time. It's just so terrible. It's like it's the same thing. It's a form of entertainment. You're sitting on your ass in either scenario, and whether you're reading a book or you're watching something on TV, it's the same. I don't poo poo books. I do read books, but I read again for entertainment, escapism. I'm not looking to pick up a book on the Civil War. I'm not looking to pick up a politician's book or anything like that. I read for entertainment, mostly romance stuff or mysteries or suspense or things like that. I'm not, and they're all fictional. I am not a nonfiction person in any way, shape, or form. Not that I've never read nonfiction. I've read some of, celebrities' books in the past. I just don't, I'm usually disappointed in them, so I steer clear of them. I think they're going to be so good, and then I read them, I'm like, meh, all right, whatever.
Well, yeah, my thought on that was, unless you're reading nonfiction, what's the difference between watching TV or reading a novel? I mean, they're escapism in most cases.
And even if you are reading nonfiction, like you said, there's PBS programs, there's the news, there's, news outlet specials and stuff like that.
Now, I will say this one thing, though, about the reading aspect of it is there's always more in the books than there is that you'll see on the TV. So to get a more in-depth perspective on things, you might want to read the books. But and the same with novels, too. I've always found that the novels were always so much better than the movies or whatever. But that's just my take. I honestly don't read that much anymore. I have audiobooks, and I use that to go to sleep with at night. So,
and I watch TV I watch reruns of whatever sitcom to fall asleep to, because I've seen it a million times, so it doesn't matter. Fall asleep, doesn't matter. So I get it, and I think it's just silliness. It's like, why do people care? Like,
and another thing, well, okay. And then some people will say, well, we don't have cable. We don't want to spend that kind of money on cable. So if you see what's on the normal networks, it's all crap now. They're all game shows and stuff like that.
Yeah, when did game shows become such a big thing? And why are all the celebrities doing them as
because
hosts?
They don't want to pay writers and stuff like that. They don't want to make that kind of investment. It's cheap entertainment like reality TV,
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to go somewhere with this, and
Jenna?
It just went in one ear and out the other.
I say, do what you like. Life's too short. Who cares? And don't poo-poo somebody else's, what they like to do. It doesn't matter in the long run. It really doesn't. And, I have no problem, as we talked about a few episodes ago, butt to couch for an entire day. I ended up with a hemorrhoid, so there was that. I prefer not to have that happen again. But other than that, going out to a movie, whatever makes you just do it. Who cares?
I remember what I was going to say about the TV. And okay, I get Acorn TV and BritBox. They're both UK type shows. And several years ago, I started watching a series called Foyle's War. And it took place during World War II in Hastings, England. That series was so good. It just really hooked me. I got so into World War II watching that, and the proximity of where England was to Germany and to France. You look at a map of Europe, and unless you're going to go there, it's all around there somewhere. But by watching that series, I really got into the closeness of how things were and how the people must have felt. It was really a good series. I think they had 10 seasons. So that just kind of steered me into the whole World War II era. And I really started getting into that history, how it all started, Adolf Hitler, all that. It just really got me into that. So I credit them for really doing a lot more intensive research into World War II. And kudos to all the people who survived and lived through it, and those that didn't.
So yeah. Okay, I think we exhausted that, unless you had something else.
No, I think that's it. Welcome back, everyone.
Welcome back. Now we're to the part of the program where we talk about what we are watching. Auntie Joan, what you
Yes.
watching?
Well, I was just looking for something to watch on the TV,
Mm-hmm.
and I saw that Tig Notaro's new stand-up act
Oh,
was on Netflix.
love her. Nope.
Nope,
Prime Video.
Prime Video. OMG. Yeah, I love her too.
Love.
She's, for those of you who don't know, Tig is of the lesbian persuasion.
Mm-hmm.
And part of her act is when she talks about how she ended up with internal bleeding.
Mm-hmm.
And her partner, I don't know if they're married or not.
Yes, they are.
They are? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then her wife called the fire department, 911, to have somebody come to take her to the hospital. So in comes these firemen, and she said one of them didn't even have a shirt on, and I don't believe that.
No.
But oh my gosh, if you have access to that, I don't want to spoil it because it's so good to just to catch her reaction to that. Yeah.
I
But I
love
think,
Tig's like dry delivery of everything.
oh yeah.
She's so clever, and the way she draws the audience in, and
Mm-hmm.
I just can't get enough. I think she is just one
Mm-hmm.
of the funniest people, not just women, people
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I've ever heard from a stand up. And I've never been disappointed in any of her stand up
Mm-hmm.
material. And I just adore her. And this latest stand up does not disappoint.
No,
She is
no.
so good. So
And
good.
who knew she was a pianist? A pianist.
Yeah. Yes. Who knew?
Yeah. Boy, that was a pleasant surprise.
Indeed. Indeed. And singer.
Absolutely.
And
Yes.
singer, you
Mm-hmm.
know? I
Mm-hmm.
know. Incredible.
Did you
Incredible.
ever see her series, the little series she did, One Mississippi?
So I was watching that. I tried to watch that
Oh,
last spring when I was in Connecticut, not knowing what it was about. And it was right after my
oh,
father had passed only 6 weeks, 6 weeks from my
probably.
mother, 8 weeks, a little shy of
Yeah,
8 weeks
yeah.
from my mother. So I was not in the right frame of mind to be watching that. So and I haven't gone back to it. So it was poor timing on my part. Nothing to do with Tig. I'm sure it's
Mm,
great, but it's not as lighthearted as I would expect from Tig. It is
mm,
definitely more serious and talking about, what her and her family had gone
mm-hmm,
through.
mm-hmm.
Anyway, I need to give it another go. It was just poor timing on my part.
Yeah, you might want to wait a little bit yet before you watch it again.
Yes. Yes,
Um,
indeed.
yeah. Yeah, you had one of those years from hell.
I sure did. 2023 can, I like to say, suck a bag of dicks.
Mm,
Because it did.
yeah, yeah.
It was not a good year. And so she's so funny. I just love, she does party bits. Oh, God, Tig.
What do you mean party bits?
She will go to parties
Oh,
and just randomly start, have you seen my dog? I can't find my dog. I've been looking for my dog. And then everybody at the party, not everybody, but quite a few people start joining in the search, and there's no dog. There's nothing there. She just is being Tig. Or she'll just yell at the top of her lungs to a group, a large gathering of people at a party that is not at her house. It is hosted by somebody else. And she would just yell at the top of her lungs, all right, everybody, I'm going to go to bed now. So good night. And everybody's just like, whose house are we at? She's just so funny. I just adore her.
yeah. And I really like her dry delivery, like you said.
Yes.
I mean, that's my type of humor.
Mm-hmm.
You can keep all the situation comedies and all that stuff as we know now, where
Don't
they
lump them
actually.
all together. Do
I
I have
know,
to point out the
no, no,
situation
no, no,
comedies
no,
that you
no.
like?
Well, I don't consider those situation
They
comedies.
are.
And deadpan, and she's got that deadpan expression on her face too when she
Yes.
delivers a lot of those. So
Yes.
that really makes a big difference
Yes.
too, and how I find so funny. And a lot of it's not laugh out loud. For me, I don't laugh out loud a lot, but
sometimes. But yeah, I agree.
sometimes.
She makes you smile. She's just a
And
clever person.
you have to admire her too because she has had so many health scares and
Yes. Yes,
things.
she had something called C. diff. I had to look that up because I'd never heard of that before. It's also known as Clostridioides difficile.
Hmm.
It's a germ or a bacterium that causes diarrhea and colitis and inflammation of the colon. And she had such a severe case of it that she was hospitalized. People die from it, so she was not in good shape. Then she very quickly thereafter got diagnosed with breast cancer and had a double mastectomy. The fact that she gets out of bed is just amazing to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Then she was in some additional pain after the mastectomy, so she decided to try going vegan. And though she said that everything didn't magically go away with becoming vegan, her symptoms have reduced significantly. And she's, able to basically function in life as a result of adopting the vegan diet. She also creates dyke dust, which nobody knows what's in
That's
it.
what I was just thinking about that.
She needs
What
to
that
market
was.
it and sell it. She was on Stephen Colbert, and she's talked about it on other talk shows as well. Stephen Colbert is when I first saw her talk about dyke dust. It looks, from the appearance of it, because I went back and rewatched the video, it looks like it's something cashew, something. There's spices in there. I don't know what the spices are, but it looks like it's a base of cashew with probably nutritional yeast, which is a base for like vegan Parmesan in quotes. But I don't know what other spices she has in it. But she calls it dyke dust, and she even has a fake dyke dust ad on her Instagram. And I love the part where it says exclusively sold at the Home Depot. She's the best.
And she sprinkles that on her food and
savory
stuff
thing. She brings it to people's houses when she's going to a dinner party or something. According to what she told Stephen Colbert, who he thought she was insane for doing that. And but she would, when she goes to dinner parties, she brings her dyke dust, a jar of her dyke dust with her. And she did give a jar to Stephen as well. That's why I saw it, and I just like zoom, kind of try to look. That's what the base looks like to me. But it could be a different nut for all I know. It could be almonds. It could be macadamia nuts. I don't know. But it looks like it's something nut-based with nutritional yeast for the color of it. The texture and the color is how I'm getting those two ingredients. But the rest of it, I have no idea what's in it. But I wish she would sell it, or at least give us the recipe.
Yeah.
So we can all try it. But yeah,
You hear that, Tig?
Yeah, Tig. Get on it.
Time to share. Share with your sisters.
That's what I'm saying.
So if you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yes, please. Again, on Prime Video. You do have to suffer through commercials these days unless anybody ponied up that additional money for Prime Video. They're short, but they are annoying, and they don't do a very good job of cutting into them. You're looking perplexed, Auntie Joan. Are you saying you're not seeing commercials?
I don't remember seeing any commercials with that.
Did you pony up the additional money that Amazon asked for to not see commercials? They just did this recently. Right after the new year, I think they went to where all of us who have been paying and having the luxury of not having commercials on Prime Video, they basically said for your Prime, because we get it with our Prime membership. So that's know, everything Amazon related Prime. But those of us who are just getting it for, because of our Prime subscription or membership, I should say, we now get little commercials. At the beginning, there's a couple of mid-rolls that are done very, very poorly. Mid-rolls means, folks, sorry, I used to do this as one of the many projects I worked on over my career, but one of them was advanced advertising and inserting ads into streaming videos. So it's called a mid-roll, which basically means in the middle of the program, at some point while the program's active, you cut in with advertisements. And some do it better than others, and Amazon so far, in my opinion, is not doing it well.
Well, Hulu was like that for a while, and then I ended up going to the no ads version of Hulu because it was so poorly done.
Yeah. So when Hulu first came out, you had no option. It was just what it was. But then, as you said, as they got further along with their subscriptions and started to realize that people didn't like the ads that were awful and awfully done, they started providing another option, which was the no ads, which is what I have as well for Hulu. I have to say, so far, Peacock is the only one that I have that I knowingly signed up for Peacock with ads. Though they are on repeat, I have to say they're done fairly well. I don't feel like it's just mid-sentence somebody's getting cut off and you're getting an ad all of a sudden. But at Amazon, it's not mid-sentence, but it's harsh. It's a harsh cut, in my opinion.
I guess I must have paid for that. No ads thing.
Atta girl. I wasn't willing to give Amazon. I give them a lot of money. That, to me, was a bridge too far. To be fair, I don't watch Prime Video very much. So I figured I'll suffer through and deal with the ads. Until it annoys me. If something really good starts coming on Prime Video and it starts to annoy me, I'll pony up the additional dollars too. But for right now, I'm good.
Yeah. Well, I'll have to check that out.
But yes, Tig Notaro. What was the stand-up called? Do you remember? Oh, Hello Again. And there's a reason for that, and it's hysterical as to why. Tig Notaro, Hello Again on Prime Video. Highly, highly recommend.
Watch it. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Now we're to the part of our program where we discuss commercials we have to talk about. Auntie Joan, what commercial do you have to share with our listener?
Well, I happened to come upon a Chizza at KFC commercial.
Chizza?
Chizza. I mean, can it get any worse? Pizza's bad, chicken's bad, fried chicken's bad. And then when you've got to add them together, it's like a heart attack waiting to happen. But no, it's a big thing now at KFC. Get your Chizza. Well, I did a little deep dive into those Chizzas.
Oh, do tell.
They were first introduced in the Philippines in 2015.
Oh, okay.
On their menu. And then occasionally Germany, India, Korea, Spain, Taiwan, and Thailand all offered them occasionally on their menus. Yes. So maybe the good old US of A is really trying to protect us as long as they can.
Oh, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think that kind of saying just how much the U.S. has influenced other cultures over the years, because they're usually last to get that kind of stuff. And we just come up with the most creative, disgusting combinations of things that are ultimately, it's probably delicious. I don't know. I'm never going to have it. Some of the combinations we come up with, it's just how much more can we add to things, just to make them gooier or saltier or, more meat. Because, there's ones that have, you brought it up when we were chatting about this before, that they used to have something where they had two pieces of chicken with something in the middle, making it like a sand, like using the chicken as bread. Yeah. It's like, we just can't.
I can't remember what it was. I couldn't find it either, but.
Yeah, but I remember it. I know exactly what you're talking about. And, that was a big craze when carbs were the devil. And, when Atkins first came around, or really became popular, I guess I should say, because Atkins has been around for a long time.
Yeah.
And now keto.
Oh, the keto,
the next level of Atkins kind of thing. And it's just
fried? I mean, that's got the carbs in it. But I did, when I was trying to find what that either item was, with the two pieces of chicken with something in the center, I did find a couple other tasty things that they had offered on their menu. In 2019, the Cheetos sandwich. They had the bun with a layer of Cheetos and then a fried chicken piece and then some Cheeto sauce on top.
I bet you there was Cheeto dust in the fried chicken piece as well.
Oh, probably.
That seems like something they would do.
And then they had the double down dog. It said it was only around for 2 days. They took a fried chicken thing, and they folded it into a bun shape, and then they put a hot dog in it.
Oh,
gross. That's why it only
nasty.
lasted 2 days, I think. Yeah.
Well, you see, like, the French fries that they end up making into chili fries, and then they add on the cheese, and then they add on, adding and adding. And I was like, how about just French fries? I mean, French fries are bad enough on their own, and then you add all that other stuff, and it's like, oh my God.
I like an occasional ketchup with them, but I like them plain too. Yeah. But yeah. Why do you have to add all that stuff to it?
I don't know.
Because there's just not enough calories.
We have all these cooking shows, and everybody's trying to, do their take on stuff we already know. Like, we don't need these many recipes, folks. Like, I love cooking and I love recipes. Do not get me wrong, but there's so many. Everybody's got a blog. Everybody's got a cooking show. It's just insane the amount of recipes that are available to us today in this day of the internets and the Googles and the Pinterest.
I get a lot of recipes that way too.
And the number of food channels that are on, the cables, the cable networks and stuff. It's just insane. It's like, that's a lot.
Yeah, I never watch cooking shows. And then I had a guest stay over the other night. And when I got up, I found she had been watching cooking shows on PBS. So then I got kind of rooked into backing him up and watching them. Ooh, there were some good recipes. There was some good cooking going on.
Yes. There was some good stuff.
And then I thought, why don't I watch more of these?
Yeah. No, I just happened upon it. Oh, that was me, by the way. That was at Auntie Jones watching the cooking stuff. Yes. It was on PBS, and we made gnocchi.
Gnocchi.
There was some, how it started was, it looked like a carbonara. I was just interested in that because to make that plant-based would have been extremely difficult for me. That's why I watch a lot of those things. Can I take a regular thing and make it plant-based?
Well, not gnocchi. You can make that.
Oh, yeah, that you can. But it was the original, why I originally tuned in was some kind of carbonara. They didn't call it a carbonara. It was a spin-off of a carbonara. I forgot what they called it. And I was like, that's a lot of doctoring on my part to make that. It was definitely a pasta day. Oh, but they went on to the Philippine stuff. And so when you said that, this chizza was actually first, or they've had on the Philippines menu. So Philippines just kind of takes influences from everywhere. And so they don't really, to make it their own. So their own cuisine is like a mashup of
Chinese and Japanese.
Yeah. And they just kind of, and they take American influences and stuff like that and come up with their own recipes. So that's why I found that interesting when you said that for KFC, the chizza has, made its debut. Was it the first time it came out was at the Philippines?
2019.
2015, wasn't it? I thought it was 15.
One moment, please.
Sure.
2015.
Yeah.
You are correct.
So I was like, oh, and I was actually going to bring that up. So I'm glad you came full circle and brought up the fact that I was using your television set, your cable access to watch some PBS cooking shows. That was interesting.
Oh, and they had the good thing about the cookers.
The cookers.
Yeah. Oh, that's why I asked you if you had one. The hot pots.
Oh, the Instapot.
Instapots, yeah. Oh, that was America's Test Kitchen.
Yes.
So if any of you are interested, why don't you use the Google machine and type in America's Test Kitchen.
Test.
Yeah. And they did a chicken, a whole chicken they put in there. And they just put some, few things in there. And I mean, it wasn't browned or anything, but it's the kind that you could shred and by the time it was done. So
nice.
Yeah, I might have to look into that. I do like my soups too, and I think that's a good way to do soups. So
yeah, sounds good. All right. Anything else on the KFC Chizza?
No. I think we've said all we need to say about that.
All right, Auntie Joan. Anything else you wanted to bring up with our listener today?
Not a fucking thing, bitch.
Auntie Joan, I've rubbed off on you.
Well, no. It's just you've called us explicit, so I think we need to keep that up.
We gotta earn it, right?
Yeah.
Way to go.
Sorry if I've offended anybody.
Oh, now stop. They're not offended. They've been listening to us. They can't be that offended. All right. On that note, that wraps it for yet another wonderful pickled watermelon rinds. We thank you for listening. This is Auntie signing off.
And Auntie Joan saying bye-bye now.
Goodbye. We thank you for listening. And remember, when life eats away at your core, make pickled watermelon rinds.